I care about you more than anyone else. That's an unwavering truth, even now.
I thought that you'd forgotten.
I never said anything of the sort.
Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome to Geek News Anime Night, a show where we sit down and we talk about an episode of anime of a current season, or maybe even something recent, and we discuss our feelings, thoughts, and everything that happened within the episode, and maybe even where we think the series is going. So, I am your host, Adam Mickelson, aka Drac. I hope everybody's having a great day today, and joining me is my lovely wife, Andrea. Andrea, how are you?
I'm doing just fine.
Are you feeling a lot better since the last time we recorded where we were still dealing with the sniffles?
Yeah.
We both are, thankfully. I think we still have like a few loose ends, but I think it's working out. But today, like I say it's anime night, but we literally just got done with episode 1 of Fruits Basket, so I figure we probably should do this one first. And oh, geez. Okay, there's a lot to unpack. What are your feelings on what we just watched, Andrea?
Mixed feelings.
Is it safe for me to go and do the Michael J. Fox line and say this was heavy?
Yep.
This was or actually, probably I would go with the Doc Brown. This is heavy. So yeah, we I can't even remember what the name of the episode is. Okay, so we just barely got done with the first episode of Season 3, I'll Hold Another Banquet. And, yeah, should be heavy from all of it. So we basically, we start things up where Season 2 ended with Kurano and Tohru talking. And they just barely did the reveal that Akito is a woman. And then we kind of learned about Akito to an extent. So yeah, Akito is the god in the zodiac, but it just so happens that even though Akito is a woman, she was raised to be male. So this kind of answers a question we had last time where like everybody's treating her like a guy, she acts like a guy. But I guess since the Jade Emperor was a guy, they act and are raised male. So this explains a lot of her behavior. She does kind of come off imposing and aggressive. So maybe that's just because of the upbringing. But not only do we find out this revelation, but Kurano kind of also explains why her attachment is so strong, and it's because of her mom, Ren Soma. I say Ren with an E, who is it safe to say they're both equally mentally ill?
Seems like.
I don't know if I can say that one is more ill than the other. Because, like, they're both equally messed up, but just for different reasons. So we see that Ren Soma, the mother of Akito, she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She's basically about as mentally ill as Akito, and but it's not in the same way. Akito is mentally ill in the concept that she very much attaches to the Zodiac story, because it gives Akito comfort, because I guess as in her upbringing, like Ren wasn't a loving mother, and it sounds like Akito's father passed away. So at that point, you don't have the father, the mother is mentally ill, you're kind of just lost, and Akito is clinging to the Zodiac legend to get whatever little comfort she can out of it. I would almost dare say she's using it to cover up the grief she has over the fact that her relationship with her mother is horrible. But that's neither here nor there. And we get to see Akito and Ren get into a fight in the Soma complex, where Ren, so like where Akito attaches to the legend, Ren goes the opposite. She doesn't think any of it's true, and so she tends to treat all the Zodiac members as just unnatural, and in turn treats Akito as equally unnatural, and I almost want to say treats her like a devil. Like a devil child. Well, because she kept screaming at her, like, when I die, I'm going to go to heaven, and I'm going to see Akira, but when you die, that's not going to happen. And I almost want to say, like, she was implying that Akito was going to go to hell, but I don't know, maybe she's just cheekily saying that you'll just get reincarnated. Like you have before, but she kind of implied, like, you're going to go to hell, and I'm going to go to heaven, and I'm going to be with your dad, and I'm going to be happy, kind of thing. So, yeah, they're both equally knuckin' futs. You look like you have something to say on the matter. It's
just all crazy.
It's effed up. And Kurano is aware of this. In fact, we got an interesting story out of this too. I guess when Akito was conceived, this was weird. The way that they did the dub is that they made him sound like he was born already, but instead, I believe it was when she was first pregnant. Because what happened was, it turns out that Kurano, Shigere, Hatori, and Ayame are all around the same age. And immediately tears started to stream. No, it started before that. Because they had a dream where they were all in their Zodiac forms and they saw Akito as like a little girl or as a little kid saying that I'm coming back or something like that. I'm coming. And so they saw that. Tears immediately streamed down all of their faces. They all went to Ren, and they all, I guess, like, kind of, I don't know how you'd feel about this. They all immediately grabbed her womb, or touched her womb, and said, "We've been waiting for you."
Touch your stomach?
Womb. I mean, like, it's not that you touch the stomach, it's that you touch a little lower, isn't it?
Well, that's...
Not that low. I'm saying, like, somewhere in between.
Yeah.
But that's what they were doing in there, because, like, Ren is such a tall woman. So at that point, they all touched the stomach and said, we've been waiting. Apparently, Ritsu was also around as a little kid before then.
That's the
monkey. But was apparently too young to have this reaction. They don't know why Ritsu didn't have this reaction. So, how would you feel if that happened out of nowhere? 4 little boys just come, tears streaming down their faces, grab your stomach and go, "We've been waiting for you." That's a little awkward.
Yeah,
maybe that's what messed up Ren.
Are they saying that now Akito is a lot slightly a little bit younger than they are?
Oh, he's younger by a stretch.
Which is just
because I mean Akito has got to be like Tohru's age, and they're in their 20s.
Yeah, because it just seems kind of strange that. Just amazing. It's like, how on earth can she just be born and she's the head of the family, and yet there's some...
Probably because of the god spirit, but...
that's possible.
It also could have been that Akira was the previous head of the family.
Probably.
But he didn't have that spirit, so at that point, like, they treat him like the head, and then as soon as he passed away, then Akito was put in charge. It's a guess. I don't know. I'm hoping that we figure this out, because I'd like to learn a little bit more about Akito Soma. And it may be able to tell us about, because a lot of this was based in how Akito got messed up. Like, I didn't want to feel empathy towards Akito for all the things that she's done, but now you've done it in fucking series. So we learned this. and apparently like the draw, like it's the way that Kurano described it is like they all did this, but they did it kind of unconsciously. It was like somebody else did it for them, and so the guess is that it was the animal spirit that did it, or the zodiac spirit that did it. So at that point, like, Kurano explains that they have like this really strong bond with Akito, but Kurano also sticks around because of Ren Soma and the fact that she's allowed to wander around. Like, we actually have a scene where we get to see Ren, and there's no love there. There's straight up hatred. And it gets so bad what Ren is saying to Akito that Akito almost kills her. But Ren doesn't make it any better. So we have this conflict, and then Akito breaks down, and Hatori, I'm guessing, just kind of takes her back to her room, but it kind of explains like the strong bond they have. And at this moment, it just breaks Tohru. Is that safe to say?
Makes her go into shock or something.
Yeah, it breaks her. I think it broke her to her core. So much so that like her scarf flies off and she doesn't even notice it. And so she is basically just crying in the park after Kurano leaves, because he basically just says like, I can't be there for Arisa because I'm so busy. He's too busy handling Akito. So at that point, we just kind of get Tohru crying in the park, and out of and here's what's interesting. It looks like off in the distance, Ren was watching their discussion, and I thought she was going to come up and talk to Tohru, but instead it was Saki out of nowhere. Oh, the whiplash. I still have kind of a headache from that. It was Saki and Megumi Hanajima. They came out of nowhere, and Saki just takes Tohru home. Like, did you think it was Ren?
When the
that was coming up to Tohru?
No,
because remember, she had that huge gown from the hospital.
Well, that's true, but when she had the brother there, the
brother, I'll give you that. But like when they talked, I thought it was because they showed Ren earlier that it was Ren. Although I guess they have the same dress, but Hanajima and Ren have very different tastes. Because Ren is very much goth punk. She has no problem showing off her assets, let's say. Whereas Hanajima still is like, I don't know how to explain it other than like Victorian goth. She dresses prim and proper. Whereas, because if I remember correctly, that dress from the hospital, Ren had like the slits were up to here, and very what's the term used to say it like it doesn't cover up the boobs?
The cleavage?
No. Like, what's the term for like the shirt? Open.
V-neck? I don't know.
Like, I don't know either. But like open cleavage. Let's say that. Like it's very open cleavage.
Okay.
Whereas Saki is prim and proper. She's Mary Poppins, basically. So yeah, but you didn't think it was Ren coming to talk to her? I mean, I get it. You saw the boy, but
I don't think so, because Ren just doesn't come around and just say, "Hey, I saw you talking." She always.
I mean, okay, but I get that. Just because you can't do that show. You can't show that she's off looking at it and then not have her go up to Tohru. I know why they did it, because later in the episode we get the confirmation, but it was like, holy crap.
Usually it's always Tohru approaching her.
Okay. Well, and then I don't know about you, but I got my second bit of whiplash when we saw so Saki took her back to her place, and we get to see Saki's mom, who I am officially convinced is not Saki's mom. Because if she is Saki's mom, she would have had, like, as soon as Saki's mom came out of the womb, she was also 9 months pregnant and gave birth to a Thumbelina girl. Okay? They look the exact same age. I hate anime logic sometimes. I really do.
Well, maybe she did get pregnant, like, really early. Like,
yeah, but not at, like, 0.
No, but you know.
I'm saying her mom looks like she could be in high school, too.
That's true.
It's like, effing hell. That's what... Anime logic, god damn it, stop doing this. You need to have a clear sense of age. Anyway, so they have Tohru at home. Saki calls up Yuki and tells her that they're doing a... What did she say? It was a nightgown festival.
I couldn't.
Is that what the kids are calling it nowadays?
I guess so.
That seems weird because, like, nightgown implies, you know, nightgowns, and these are teenage girls who are wearing pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get what I mean, right? Nightgowns are like silky things, and it's not what I consider. Like, I might be wrong, guys. I like my sister was not a girly girl, but I do not think girls are going to bed in nightgowns at 14 years old.
You never know.
Or 16. Anyway, well, you didn't.
Yeah, but
I
still,
can speak to that.
But you never know.
Yeah.
There might be some people that might.
So, and in fact, Yuki also agreed with me because says, I think you meant to say pajama party. And yeah. So Yuki tells Shigere that that's going to happen. And then Shigere is like, but it's dinner. So Yuki offers to cook, which is apparently a bad idea. It kind of makes you want to know the previous experience, doesn't it?
Man,
just a little bit.
You think he would trust Yuki's cooking, or you think he would trust Kyo's cooking?
I like this a little bit because, well, Kyo wasn't there.
I know, but still, you think, which one do you think he would trust with cooking if it was just them three?
It was just the three of them?
Yeah, like, do you think
they would eat out a lot?
I know.
Because that's what they were doing before Tohru came in.
Well, that's true.
So, yeah, but I do like the concept because right up until now, this series has done nothing but Shigere is weird, and then you'll have Yuki do a smart mouth comment, and they reversed it here where Yuki is like, well, I'll just take care of dinner, and immediately Shigere is like silently questioning whether Yuki can cook. And apparently the reason Yuki gives is that he didn't have the motivation before. And immediately Shigure is like, nor did you have the skills. So that happened. And then we cut to I want to say Megami's, but Saki's house the rest of the night, where Tohru is just breaking down because she wants to help everybody, and she kind of hit that wall. Like, she can't take on anybody else's feelings. She can't take on everybody else's problems like she has in previous seasons. And Saki kind of explains that. Now, I should say before this, Saki sends Megami off to go do something. We find out later what it was, but Saki kind of explains that you can't take on everybody's problems. Eventually, you have to take on your own. To which, thank you, Hanajima. Like, this was the problem that we were having in season 2 with Tohru a lot, is that she wasn't really handling any problems of her own. She wasn't thinking about her own future. She was worried about everybody else. And so Saki is the proxy for the viewer saying, yeah, you can't do this either. Which eventually leads to Arisa coming in. And apparently that's what Megami was off to go do, is he had to call, or he had to go get Arisa from her job and bring her there, and then they had to listen behind the door. And basically during all of Toru's opening her heart, she explains that it's Kurado Soma and that he's got other things that he's got going on, and he can't return that favor. And Tohru is sad because she couldn't fix this for Arisa. To which Arisa comes in, says that she heard the whole thing, and immediately hugs Tohru and says that's okay, because that's just, you can't take on everybody else's problems. You have to be able to take care of yourself eventually. And I want to say kind of just accepts that. Accepts that Kurado can't be pursued. Safe to say?
Yeah.
Because she didn't show a tear or anything like that, but I don't know if Arisa would. But you kind of have that internal monologue that, you know, she's sad about the fact that Kurado can't come see her, but understands why he can't.
That makes her feel powerless.
I don't know how you could explain that without explaining the curse, and she doesn't know about the curse. So, I don't know. Anyway,
wait, Tohru doesn't?
No, Arisa doesn't.
Oh yeah.
And she didn't tell them about the curse, and that was why, but I think the reasoning that she gave was like it was Akito. Akito was the problem. And so Arisa kind of accepts this. They all have their sleepover, and Tohru heads back home to everybody waking up. But we also have like another scene that kind of comes up that will be essential here. You remember that I said that Toru's scarf fell off. Kyo, I guess, was walking home and saw her scarf in the street and went to go get it, but man, he waited too long to go get it. But yeah, he comes home, or she comes home and finds her scarf that has been washed by Kyo. And thankfully, you know, things kind of go back to normal and get ready for the new school year. Or not the new school year, but the next day of school kind of thing. And that's it, roughly. So, anything I miss?
No, I think you hit all the points.
So, I've been talking here for forever. Your thoughts on this episode, man?
I think that was just a lot to take in, especially the beginning of the first episode of a season.
Like, what was the hardest thing to take in?
Probably just...
Let me break it up. Let me break it down. What was the harder scene? Background about Akito, or the nightgown festival, as it was called?
Probably just the background.
The background, yeah, that was definitely a lot heavier. I would actually say that the nightgown festival was more warm, but everything about that backstory was cold. Cold as fuck. It was bad. So we didn't rate these in the previous ones, but now we can. So you would say the best part of this was the background for Akito?
Well, it was intriguing.
Was there a worst in this episode?
I mean...
Oh, and I also should say another thing that did happen was, Ren is skulking around the complex and comes into contact with Ren. So I think they're hinting at something happening there. But, I can't think of a worst other than stuff that just hasn't been explained yet.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything except...
That whole scene with Ren and the kids was awkward as hell. But, I mean, you can't get rid of it because it's essential. I mean, I can't think of a worst, honestly.
No, not really.
Mm-mm. So, what would you rate this episode out of 5?
Probably a 4, maybe.
4 out of 5? Yeah, I'd probably be there too. I think it's good, but it's obviously just kind of setting up the pace of what we're gonna deal with.
But I mean, at least it didn't begin without any information whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's why I would give it a 4, at least we were opening with at least some backstory on Akito's past.
Yeah. Now, in the past, we've also done kind of a character of the episode. Is there anybody we'd give that credit to here? That the one who cried the most, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe Hadajima?
Well, I'm talking like best performance
Oh, okay.
out of the character. And it was really heavy, so it's kind of hard to differentiate between them all. Because it would definitely be between Akito and Tohru, ultimately. But I can't pick between the two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both really great performances, so I guess we won't worry about that. And there really isn't a funniest moment. Well, there's a funniest moment in this episode. What would you consider to be the funniest moment of it?
Just the whole thing with
Yuki cooking. I love in the morning they basically say that Shigere wasn't sure if he liked it or not, and immediately Yuki kind of looks at that and goes, because I guess his justification was like he was never properly motivated, and so he just kind of looks off into the distance and like, maybe motivation wasn't the problem. Like, yeah, Shigure kind of said that. You kind of need the skills too, but okay. I'd give that. The Yuki going, maybe the motivation wasn't the problem kind of thing. Either that or him talking to Saki and saying, you use these big words, but I don't think you know what they mean. Kind of thing. What about you?
That would be around in that area.
Okay. Well, there you go, my friends. So this is the first episode of Geek News Anime Night. When we come back, we will have episode 2, and hopefully we can get some of these answers, especially with Ren and Ren. I'm interested to see what is going on there. But until next time, we will see you guys for episode 2, and take care.